Well, that was a good start. For some reason, my little intro Thunderbirds video isn't working, which is exactly what I was planning to happen. So, thank you guys so much for tuning into the live stream. We've not started off fantastically, but you know what? It's been a while. I'm a bit rusty, so thank you guys for joining the stream. 10 of you viewing at the moment. We've got, of course, TP Football Analysis in the chat. We've got Ayush Falur. We've got Shashank. We've got Jan Iver Jacobson. We've got the False 9. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream, being patient with me as I try and set everything up to get ready for a stream for World Cup. It's been really difficult actually getting streams ready for World Cup because the data is always changing every single day. You don't get a break to actually set things up, and I now know my audio's working. So away goes the iPad. And what is everyone drinking? First of all, can we just appreciate the mug? There we go. That's my Father's Day present. Inside is strawberry and lime Copperberg. So thank you to my daughters for the addition to the stream. I'll probably be using that quite a lot because it keeps my drink nice and cold. So let me know in the chat what you guys are drinking as well. And let's start talking about the World Cup Fantasy Football mode. I know it's been about a week and a half since I've done any sort of content for it. I'm not doing too bad, to be fair. At the moment, you can see that there's about 1 million players playing. It says 1 million plus on the website, World Cup Fantasy Football. Overall rank, as I took this screenshot, which was during the Germany game, 15,149th. So, not awful. Round 2, I'm actually 7,628th in the world. And we, of course, have just been switching our captain around. A lot of players who have been scoring 1 goal, and we have switched it to then Lukaku, who, of course, today scored 2, so it'll probably stay on him now. But a good majority of our players have done well. We've got Trippier left to play tomorrow, but Cheryshev, Eriksson, Costa, Lukaku, Coutinho, Miranda getting a clean sheet, Varela getting a clean sheet, and Azoa getting a clean sheet. So, pretty happy with this week. Last week wasn't amazing in comparison, but not awful by any means. So, yeah, not looking too shabby Alonso. So let me know in the chat also how you guys are doing in your World Cup Fantasy Football games. And also check the link in the description. FPL Wildcats should be going live some point during the week next week as we talk about knockout stages. And also there was something else I was going to tell you guys to do, but I've completely forgotten it. So say la vie to that one anyway. Yes, the card has some poll questions, so answer the questions in the polls and in the card. The polls in the card. And let's get down to some comments before we get into some content that I have arranged for you guys. TP, first of all, feeling down about the Germany game. To be honest, it looked like Germany were going to get knocked out for a while there, didn't it? The first half especially, Sweden looked like they probably would get a result out of this game. And then Germany turned up in the second half. Did get Boateng sent off for a second yellow. So again, it looked like it was possible that Sweden could get something from the game. There were chances for Sweden, but then that Kroos goal at the end to win the game for Germany, that was a thing of beauty, to be fair. So that was a very, very good goal scored by Toni Kroos, who has looked like one of Germany's best players, to be fair. And underlying stats doesn't look too bad either. So Toni Kroos is definitely someone we could be considering. Just the angle that they scored it from, Kroos scored it from, makes it one of my favourite goals so far this tournament. Jan Jacobson saying hello to everyone, especially the Scandinavian neighbours. Almost for our Scandinavian neighbours. He's talking about Sweden. Yeah, to be honest, they can still go through. Germany are by no means out the woods, but they're definitely a lot better off having won that one game. We got a team analysis already from TP. We got Muslera, good choice. Uruguay look like they will likely get a clean sheet in the third round of fixtures as well. They look a good bet for the group stages at least. You've then got Schmeichel. Again, Denmark look decent defensively. Nacho, Spain. I mean, I just feel like they're a bit expensive, Nacho, for Spain. And there's always the chance Carvajal comes in. Cedric, Portugal, not a bad shout. Don't know the price of him off the top of my head. Kolarov, I mean, Serbia were unfortunate. I think Kolarov is decent going forward, attacking, but he could be out soon after Switzerland beats Serbia. But Kolarov is a decent attacking threat for sure. Liechtensteiner, decent, but Switzerland could keep a clean sheet in the next fixture, so it's definitely a possibility. Stones, I don't see England getting clean sheets. I think our defence switches off at random moments, hence why we conceded against Tunisia with Kyle Walker switching off for a moment. But Stones is a decent shout, definitely has some underlying stats there. Dos Santos, if that's a Mexican Dos Santos, I actually think you might be better off looking at other players in that Mexican side. Leon has been disappointing as far as output points-wise, but his underlying stats are good. And to be honest, the Mexican forwards look decent. Just, is it a bit too late for us to be considering them now? Is it a bit too late to be considering them now, as the knockout stages will be soon and the competition Mexico will be facing will definitely increase? Dyer, not a fan of him as a pick. Don't get me wrong, he could be very important to England, but I don't think fantasy football wise Dyer is a good option. Fernandinho, again, I think there's better options for midfielders. If you're going to have Brazilians, I think you need the likes of Coutinho, Neymar. I wish they'd play Roberto Firmino instead of Jesus, because we look like we've got a different attacking option when we got Firmino, because I think Jesus is a bit too similar to the other players around him, whereas Firmino brings a bit more of a physical presence in the box and also is a very skillful player as well. So I kind of wish we'd play Firmino instead of Jesus. James Rodriguez didn't start in the Colombia game. We've got to wait and see what happens next Colombia game. He's a great player. Are Colombia going to do well this World Cup? I don't know yet. Zirkov, if that is a Russian, I think Cheryshev and Golovin are better options. Hopefully I got them right. Tim Cahill, probably not the best shout. Griezmann, decent. Messi. Argentina possibly going out the tournament soon, so you might have to change that. I think at the moment Ronaldo is the best expensive option, like premium price. Lukaku, of course, is a great option, 4 goals already, same as Ronaldo. But I think if you're going to spend that big bucks, Ronaldo is the one to go for. So who to transfer out? You've only really got one transfer for the next round, unless you're wild carding. I mean, there's the possibility Argentina really step up and Messi does do something. Griezmann could do something. Rodriguez, you've got the next game to watch him in first. I'd say Dos Santos. I think you can pick a better midfielder. I'm not sure how much Dos Santos is. Does that really give you much room to make a transfer, though? If we quickly get Mexico. I'm presuming it's Giovanni, but I think Jonathan Dos Santos is there as well. So I don't know if you've got the 5.5 or the 7.5, but neither have scored points. So I'd definitely consider, if it's Giovanni Dos Santos at 7.5, I think you can definitely pick a better option. If it's a 5.5 million player, you can straight swap to Leun. Not had the greatest output, but he is getting underlying stats, chances, creating chances and getting chances, although he doesn't seem to be a great finisher, which is a bit strange as to why you would have him as one of your most attacking players in the side when his finishing's a bit poor, but say la vie. Cheryshev at 5.5 million. I know you've already got a Russian, but Cheryshev has been doing amazingly well at the moment. I kind of wish I'd got rid of Isco myself personally. Just not sure if a lot of points will come from Isco. Could have really picked someone else, but I'm definitely looking at your Mexican player there as a player that I would consider transferring out. Jan Arvid Jacobson, 52 points so far. Is that 52 points in round 2 or in total? When is the best time to play chips? As far as wildcard, if you haven't played it, you play it for the 3rd round and try and make the most of the fact that some teams won't have anything to play for and some teams are in must-win games. So wildcard, if you've not already played it, of course, you get another wildcard anyway for the round of 16. As far as the actual chips go, to be honest, it's going to be potluck. There's not going to be any certain strategy for this. I can't even remember what the chips are off the top of my head, which is bad. I think it's Maximum Captain or something like that. Is that the name for it? Maximum Captain, yeah, and Bench Boost. I may play Bench Boost in round 3, just because I feel like I'll be more confident in getting... No. Would I play Bench Boost round 16? I think round 16, you could potentially make a team that you could get all 15 playing. Could you predict the results? It's going to be difficult. Maximum Captain, it may be worth using it next week. Not sure if you can use Wildcard and Maximum Captain. at the same time. But I feel like maximum captain's best played when you're not sure you're going to make the right choice. But you can just switch captains. That's why I don't like maximum captain in a game where you can change your captain every day. Because yes, if I decide to stick on Lukaku now and Trippier has a belter of a game, maximum captain would move it to Kieran Trippier. But would it be that beneficial when I've got a player that's already scored 2 goals? The fact he was substituted off was slightly annoying though. It would have been nice if he'd got a hat-trick. But I think maximum captain will be good in the later rounds when it may be more difficult to get a lot of players that are likely to score points. TP says Germany have looked dodgy. They haven't looked great, have they? To be fair. And we've got 52 in round 2. Okay, so you have got more than 52, which is good. Okay, so first of all, I want to talk quickly while we wait for some more questions. If you have got any questions, make sure to put them in the chat. But first of all, we are going to talk about team performances. Now, let me just refresh, see if it can pick up the Germany games. Although that would be very quick work by the website to have already included Germany games. There they are. And it does have 2 games played. Does it have the right amount of goals? Let's have a look. Germany have scored 2. And this only has none. So yeah, it's not updated yet by the looks of it. Oh no, it has updated. There we go. So, first of all, if we actually have a look at attacking threat as far as World Cup players go, World Cup teams, sorry. The teams we want to be looking for players from off of the first 2 rounds that look like they're going to get plenty of chances, especially if the opposition allows it. Belgium and Russia have had 8 goals each. Croatia have had 5, 3 of them coming against Argentina. Portugal and Spain are on 4 apiece, but they only scored 1 each in their last match. Brazil on 3, scored 2 in their last match, 1 in the one before. France on 3, Mexico on 3, Switzerland on 3. Tunisia on 3, but unlikely to be going through, so we don't really want to be looking at their players. As far as attempts on goal, Germany have had 44 attempts on goal, only scoring 2, which means a goal conversion at 4.5, which is pretty poor. Brazil as well, 43 attempts on goal. They've only scored 3, goal conversion of 7. Whereas we look at Belgium, 38 attempts on goal. That is 5 less than Brazil and 6 less than Germany. But they've scored 8, which gives them a 21.1% conversion rate. Argentina, lots of shots on goal, a really poor conversion. Spain's conversion isn't too bad at 12.9. Nigeria and Uruguay's conversion is pretty poor. Mexico have an 11.5 as well as Switzerland for goal conversion. Russia, goal conversion of 32%. The best in the tournament so far. Now, fair enough, they've not played the best teams. I believe they've now got Uruguay next. But if you picked Russian players for the early fixtures they've got, then you definitely did rather well for yourself. And you made a really good guess, because to be honest, Russia looked really poor in the games leading into it. They were friendlies, of course, but they still look poor. As far as shots on target, Belgium lead the pack with 17. Then it's Germany with 15, Brazil with 13, Argentina and Russia on 10 apiece. And if we look at defending, goals conceded first of all. Argentina have conceded 4. Could potentially still go through, but it's looking unlikely. Any other teams that could go through that have conceded quite a few? Iceland's still possible for them to go through, I believe. They've conceded 3, but no team conceding a massive amount and still likely to go through. As far as shots conceded, Iceland have conceded 43 shots, as have Mexico. Ochoa, though, has made a lot of saves, so he could be a good look as far as saves go. Switzerland conceded 34 shots. Serbia have conceded 30, Denmark 29, As far as shots conceded that have been on target, Mexico with 15 again, hence why Ochoa's making a lot of saves. Iceland with 11. But again, of course, all of that is going to change in the knockout stages, because you'll get a team like Russia who have had, relatively speaking, 2 easy fixtures, especially the way they've been playing. They're going to have to play someone good in the round of 16. Same with Mexico. I know they beat Germany, but the level of opposition could improve. Germany have been a bit up and down, so we'll see. We'll see. Thomas McCarthy in the chat. How are you doing? Apparently Thomas McCarthy is drunk. Hopefully drunk after watching the football. TP, I definitely agree that it's more difficult World Cup fantasy football, purely because it's so quick. First of all, you have to be on top of it every single day. Content creation wise, it's really difficult because the stats are always changing. I've been doing these stats every single day, and every time I get the graphics done, by the time I get the graphics done, the data has changed, and I've got a constantly changing list of who's done what in each game. And right now it's up to date till before the Germany game, and the graphics I've done don't include the Germany underlying stats and goals, so it's not going to include the fact that Kroos, probably his underlying stats now have improved even more, because I believe Kroos was already in my lists. So it's very, very difficult content creation wise, very difficult fantasy football wise, but it is shorter, which is of benefit to us. You can do a lot of research, but it is still going to come down to luck. I had Mitrovic for the first game, didn't score, took him out, he's now scored. I put in Cavani because he looked better than Suarez in the first game. Suarez scores in the second. You're going to get upsets as well. You're going to get teams not doing as well as they should. Germany, Argentina, so on and so forth. So, yes, it's very difficult. But it's different, and I suppose that's what makes it fun. So, I'm definitely enjoying it at the moment. Just it is a lot of work. I know I've taken like a week off, but it still is a lot of work. So appreciate all your guys' patience with me while I try to get information together and actually get on a stream, because I know it's been a while. It's been a while. And to be honest, chat wise, got 15 people watching, but not much going on in the chat. So again, if you do have any questions, make sure to put them in the chat. I will start talking about some underlying stats for players though. Apparently TP is winning his league. Well, that's it. They don't have the long-term commitment, do they? To be honest, I kind of approach World Cup Fantasy Football as more of a sprint. For instance, I've had every single one of my captains every day score a goal or get an assist. And I've changed it every morning because I'm looking for my player to get a goal and an assist, 2 goals or 2 assists or more. So I'm definitely playing for the big points. If I crash and burn, I'd rather crash and burn in what I consider a sprint than not really give it my full effort. So I know I'm playing this a lot differently than I played before, to be fair. Okay, so we will get to some underlying stats now, and the first one we are going to look at defenders and their chance creation statistics. So let me bring it up on the screen in front of me instead of me looking off to the side all the time. So if there is no player with 2 or more in an underlying stat, I'm not going to mention it. So first of all, defenders, we have no one that's got more than 1 assist, and we have no one with more than 1 big chance created. Colin Barker, Matthew Berry, I see you. I can't see your chat, but I notice you've just joined and put in something in the chat, so I see you, don't worry about that. Chances created is the best way of us finding out which defenders could be getting assists in the near future. What's really interesting is Kieran Trippier has the most chances created for a defender, despite the fact that he's only played 1 game. Now, Kimmich's stats there on this screen is also from 1 game. I do not have the stats from the game that has just happened. Other than that, and Grandquist as well, I don't have his stats. Other than that, all the rest have played 2 games, and Trippier is still number 1 with 6 chances created. It looks like his delivery could be very important for England, so Trippier looks like a good shout for some assists. You've got Marcelo, 6.5 million with 5 chances created. Kimmich also on 5 chances created. That could have improved. Let me just quickly check for the benefit of you guys, because it should have updated now. So chances created, Kimmich has now gone up to 7, so Kimmich would top the table if I included the stats from today. Then we've got Tagliafico, Ivanovic, both on 4 apiece. I want to see if Grandquist has actually moved up. Grandquist still on 3 chances created, so he didn't create anything in this game. And you also have on 3 Maguire, Carvajal, Rodriguez as well, and Thomas Meunier. So those are all the players that have created some chances in the games they've played so far. The standout is probably Trippier and Kimmich at the moment, with them both topping the table. Trippier topping the table with only 1 game played. And then we have goals scored. Goal threat for defenders as well. So again, not including anything where they haven't got more than 1 in the underlying stat. You can see there's no goals scored and no big chances. Sorry, I thought I didn't have the right screen up there, but I need to remember I've got my stream on delay now. So we're looking at, first of all, on target. Only Grandquist has 2 shots on target for a defender. Although that has changed. Okay. Basically, the site I use says Miguel Leun of Mexico is a defender, but he actually plays a lot more advanced and isn't counted as a defender in World Cup Fantasy. And Benatia I've not included purely because Morocco are out, so I didn't include them. I'm pretty sure Morocco look like they're out. Let me just double check that as well. Morocco on 0 points, Portugal and Spain on 4 each. So Morocco are out, which is why I've not included some players in these lists that you'll notice. So Grandquist is the only one with more than 1 shot on target. As far as attempts go, you've got Thiago Silva, Lucas Hernandez, Nicolas Otamendi, all on 4 apiece. Grandquist on 3, Caceres on 3, probably said that wrong, Marcelo on 3, Maguire on 3, PK on 3, Stones on 3, and Balogun from Nigeria, the cheap option there at 4.5 million with 3 attempts on goal. Now, the fact that if you look at defence, Trippier, Maguire and Stones, we look like our defenders could get some points in this, England. And I say we as if we're all English. We're not all English, but I count myself as English. That worries me as far as defensive solidarity against some bigger teams. But with Panama tomorrow, that shouldn't be an issue, I hope. We then have, if we move on to midfield, we have midfield creation. Here, of course, we've got more stats to look at. We're going to have more than just hoping they get a clean sheet as well. As far as assists go, in this tournament so far, Golovin and Sanchez with 2 apiece. If I check if that is still the case, there will be players I've missed out on, but they may not play much of a part in the rest of the tournament. So, Klasen of Sweden, I didn't have his stats because the game's just finished. Apparently has 2 assists. Again, the issue with the site I use and World Cup Fantasy is World Cup Fantasy are a lot more strict on what counts as an assist than the FPL is. So Klasen may only have 1 assist on the game. Golovin, Sanchez, I know do have 2 assists on the game. Zobnin, he has 2, but I don't think World Cup Fantasy Football counted both of them. Again, same as I think Klasen may not actually have 2. It may just be the 1 in World Cup Fantasy, which I will quickly go and have a look at. In fact, I'm just going to assume it's not, because it says a Fantasy Football assist, which I don't think World Cup Fantasy Football gives. So, we've got Golovin and Sanchez definitely with 2 assists each. As far as chances created, De Bruyne has 8, Coutinho with 7, Sanchez with 6 from Uruguay, Meza from Argentina with 6, Muller with 5, that's before today's game, Golovin with 5, Eriksson with 5, Moy with 5, Milinkovic, Savic with 5, and Zubair with 5. Now if I quickly again check midfielders, chances created, has anyone jumped up due to the game that's just happened? Doesn't look like it, so Draxler's got 4, looks like the best German one. So that is what we're looking at there. Big chance created, De Bruyne on 3, Golovin on 2, Amiri from Saudi Arabia on 2. I'm not sure why I've included him, because I'm pretty sure they are out. Yeah, apologies for including him. Maybe I thought he played for Iran. Maybe he does play for Iran. In that case, apologies if I've gone and got it wrong. Let me find out what team he plays for. Because if I've included him from Iran, Iran still have a chance, to be fair. Amiri does look like he's from Iran, so that is my mistake on the graphic. So you give me too much work to do, I'll start making mistakes. So let me just change that on my actual notes. Hopefully I changed that on the graphic, but I don't think I likely did. Quintero, Colombia, 2 big chances created, and Tadic as well. So those are the midfielders we can look at. My personal choice is De Bruyne with 8 chances created. That Belgium side looked pretty good. Although Hazard is probably a better choice at 10 million. I heard a rumour Hazard, Mertens and Lukaku might be not playing against England, but that's just a rumour I saw on Twitter. If that's actually true, that is madness. Budget option, Golovin definitely looks like a decent shout. And then as far as goal threat goes for midfielders, we have Cheryshev has had a great tournament so far, 3 goals scored. Let me get goal threat up for midfielders as well. Kroos will now have 1, but that won't put him into contention for actual goals. We've got Jedinak from Australia with 2, Coutinho with 2, and Modric with 2 so far. So those are the ones standing out of actually getting the ball in the back of the net. As far as attempts go, we can see that Kroos has had 6 attempts. If I now check if that is still the case, Kroos has now had 10, so he would jump up to the top with Coutinho. And Kroos at 9 million, decent value for money compared to some midfielders. Actually, I think 9 million is pretty just under the 9.5. I think most expensive midfielders 9.5. You've got Shaqiri with 9 attempts, Cheryshev with 8, Isco on 6, Sigurdsson on 6, Eriksson on 5. Draxler could have improved his tally. Draxler is now on 6, so he's only improved it by 1. Rakitic on 5, Leon on 5, Desmarly from Switzerland on 5, and Carrasco, very cheap way into that Belgian side, also on 5 attempts. Big chances, again, just going to check that no one has jumped up massively as far as big chances go. Doesn't look like it. I don't think Kroos's goal counts as a big chance. We've got Cheryshev, 5.5 million, also topping another list with Lingard, Jedinak, Kagawa, and Desmarly. Lingard, personally, the way they played in that England game, I wouldn't go with Lingard or Sterling because they don't seem that good in front of goal. And then as far as on target, again, just want to make sure Kroos hasn't jumped up the table. He has. Kroos now has 4 shots on target, so it looks like he's changed his position in my list. He'd be up there with Coutinho and Cheryshev. And then you've got Sigurdsson, Desmarly, Jedinak, Eriksson, Isco, Rakitic, Modric, Casemiro, and Carrasco. And then as far as top picks, I would look at Cheryshev. Their next game will probably be their hardest, but they are on form. They are loving life. They have home advantage. And at 5.5 million, he's a cheap midfielder to allow you to have more expensive ones. Coutinho, goal a game so far at 9 million. And then as far as budget, Jedinak looks like he could score in the next game, but long term, he's probably not a good shout. Leon, 5.5 million, so he's an enabler. Is getting chances, he's just not putting them away. And then Kagawa, I really didn't look at Japan, and then I witnessed them beat Colombia. So maybe Japan are a team we need to be looking at, and you'll notice that thread continuing forward as we move on to strikers. So we move on to strikers, and we have first chance creation. To be honest, no assists No one's got more than 1 assist as far as forwards go. But as far as chances created, we've got Neymar topping the list with 7 chances created. I don't think any German or Swiss player has jumped above them. Müller actually... Okay, Muller's a midfielder in the game, but he's classed as a forward on the site I'm using. So Müller is on 7 chances created, which is decent. You then got Neymar, who is on 7. Hazard on 6. Vela on 6 for Mexico. Messi, Silva, Suarez. Messi and Silva on 5. Suarez on 4. Giroud on 4. Iheanacho and Moses on 4 each. Moses, of course, a defender in Fantasy I-Team if you're playing that. Lozano on 4. Mandzukic on 3. Guedes on 3. Jorgensen and Finn Bogason on 3. And as far as big chance created, you've only really got 2 names standing out. That's Cavani and Neymar with 2 apiece. No German has jumped into that list. And the ones I look at from forwards as far as chance creation, Hazard is scoring goals and creating chances. And then Carlos Vela at 7.5 million is a slightly cheaper option in a Mexico side that look like they could score some goals. Definitely have pace with the counter attack as well. So we now move on to the final stat screen, which is goal threat. Don't think we have anyone jumping into the top lists here as far as goal threat goes. We've got Ronaldo and Lukaku on 4 apiece, both racing for the golden boot. Diego Costa just behind on 3. Then you've got a chasing pack on 2, which includes Musa, Kane, De Zuba and Hazard, all on 2 apiece. Hazard, of course, getting assists and chances created as well. As far as attempts on goal, Messi actually leads the pack with 12. Just very poor conversion rate from Messi. Ronaldo is on 10 with Mitrovic on 10 as well. Neymar on 9, Suarez on 9, Cavani on 9, Son, Silva and Hazard on 8 each. You also have the likes of Griezmann on 7. Batshuayi on 6 goal attempts. He's only played 22 minutes and he had 6 attempts on goal. If it's true that Lukaku isn't playing against England, Batshuayi might be a cheeky little bet if you're wildcarding, just potentially. Not saying I'd definitely look at it, but you never know. If you're willing to take a gamble as it's such a shorter game, that could work out for you. As far as big chances, Suarez, Batshuayi, Lukaku and Hazard all on 4 apiece. Then you've got Berg on 3. He has just got 3 thanks to the game just played. You've got Messi. He is on 2 big chances. You've got a lot of players on 2 big chances. Ronaldo, Mitrovic, Neymar or Sacco, who looks good for a 6.5 million striker if they have another good performance. Daizuba, Kane, Mbappe, Falcao and Jesus. Now the issue with World Cup fantasy is it's going to get a lot harder in the round of 16 onwards. So a lot of these differential options you need to jump on quick and hope that you're right with your judgment. Because, for instance, Sacco, good 6.5 million option right now in the group they're in, but I don't see him being a good option once they get to the round of 16. And then as far as shots on target, Berg has gone up to 3. Is he on 3 with shots on target anyway? He wasn't on my list initially, so Berg is on 3. But we got Neymar on 5 shots on target, Lukaku with 4, scored all 4 of them. Cristiano Ronaldo with 4, scored all 4. Mitrovic is also on 4 with Cavani and Griezmann. Then we've got Suarez, Sacco, Mbappe, Messi and Costa with Berg on 3 apiece. No German has jumped into that list. And as far as top picks, I think Ronaldo and Lukaku are the ones that are racing for the golden boot. So I think Lukaku definitely at 10 million. And if you can fit Ronaldo in as well, that could be a good shout. And then, of course, if you do need to take him out your side because their teams get knocked out in the knockout stages, it's not going to be difficult to replace players of that price. Suarez also has the underlying stats, potentially could do really well moving forward, although he had a really bad first game. As far as budget, Daizuba looks decent. It's still 8 million though for a Russian player. And Osako, if you need a budget player for the knockout stages, then go with it at 6.5. But I don't think long term he's a good investment. However, we do of course have a wild card as soon as the knockout stages are over. So hopefully that has been of assistance to you all, and we have some more questions to go through. Doesn't have to be the longest stream today because, to be fair, I've still got more work to do on updating stats again now with the Germany game gone. I'm watching the England game, potentially with friends, if not with friends, with my family. So that is probably going to slow down the production of my stats as well. So, you know, very difficult to make content during the group stages. Could you set up a nice team for a wild card for round 3? What I will do is I'll look through the fixtures and what I think the groups will be like. For round 3, the issue with Group A is Russia and Uruguay play each other, and the result, strictly speaking, doesn't matter. The only way it does matter is if you come out first and Iran do shock the world and beat Portugal, then you could get Iran in the knockout stage, because if memory serves me correctly, Group A1 versus B2, yeah, so they are doing it the classic way, just in case they threw me a curveball. So potentially Iran could be the opposition for the winners of Group A. So maybe that does actually give Russia and Uruguay something to play for. The game actually is played on Monday the 25th at 3 o'clock. Iran-Portugal Monday the 25th afterwards though. So how competitive these games are is going to be questionable. Egypt versus Saudi Arabia though. Egypt may just want to go out with a bang. Salah may want to go out with a bang. So you could potentially risk Salah. Plays on the Monday, so that would be your captain for Monday. Don't think there's any other game on Monday. No, there isn't. So yeah, that could be your captain for Monday, could be Salah. As far as Group B, Spain, Morocco, Iran, Portugal, you'd hope that both teams will go for the win there, Portugal and Spain, because one, they'll both want to be top. Although I presume they might look at Russia and Uruguay and not really care which opposition they have. Maybe they might even prefer Russia, although Russia have been the informed team. So I would probably look at Portugal and Spanish players. Ronaldo would be my captain if you're not going Salah for Monday. Spain, Costa. I know I'm picking out really obvious options right now, but no Spanish midfielder stood out to me. No Portuguese midfielder has really stood out to me either. So, yeah, I'd go with the safe bets in Group B. Group C, Denmark with a win could even grab first. Australia, if they beat Peru, could, if the goal difference is good enough, beat Denmark to second on 4 points. If France beat Denmark. France are through, but they may want to make sure, to be honest, the top team look like it's going to be Croatia, unless Nigeria do something mad. So France will be playing to either have Nigeria, Iceland or Argentina. So I would guess that Croatia will want to win so they don't get France. France may want to risk that Argentina will still somehow pull through. But with France, I'd be looking at Mbappe as a cheap option. You could look at Pogba as well. Denmark, you could get some decent defenders in there. They could still put in a defensive performance. Wildcard picks would be Australians. Moy has some decent underlying stats. So you can maybe go Moy for the round 3 of fixtures in the groups. As far as Group D, I mean, Croatia, they're through, but they may just want to go through with style. They've been playing well. Modric, to be honest, there's so many options there that could come through, but Modric is the one with the underlying stats. Rakitic is probably the cheaper option that still has underlying stats. You could hope that Argentina go all out and have a field day against Nigeria. You could go with some Nigerians, Moses, Iheanacho. Those would be the players I'd look at there. The way I see it, I feel like Argentina will go out just because they do not look like a team that want this. So Nigerian option could be a real curveball. Group E, Brazil likely to get Germany or Sweden. Be interesting if Brazil get Germany in the first round of the 16. I think Brazil will go out to win because all these teams need to win. So Brazil, Switzerland, Serbia will all be playing for the win. Brazil have Serbia, so you could see goals in that one. But Switzerland have Costa Rica. Switzerland could go all out to try and get the top spot for Group E. So Switzerland players, Shaqiri, Desmaili, like I've already spoken about, Ricardo Rodriguez, the left back. Switzerland could be a good shout for some players. Mexico are through. May want to make sure they get first. They might assume Brazil will get first in their group. Lozano, Leun, Vea, Chicharito, lots of good options in the Mexico side. Germany, I feel like Kroos is the only option that has done anything that makes me have faith in that team. Sweden, there's no one that stands out in that Sweden side for me. As far as Group G, we've got Belgium top. England will be on 6 points as well, but goal difference will be worse. England-Belgium, it's going to be an interesting game because I feel like England should beat Panama, so both will be through. I would fancy Belgium over England as much as I'd like an England win. That being said, I would tread with caution if the rumour I heard is true. I doubt it because it's the World Cup. Why would you rest your three forward players, all of them? Lukaku has been on fire, knows the players he's playing against. So does Hazard. So they both would be good shouts. Carrasco is, of course, the cheap way into that midfield as well. I fancy England to get a goal, but I'm just not sure we'll win. The fact that Tunisia have scored against us and Belgium makes me think that both defences can concede goals. Panama, Tunisia. Tunisia are out. It would have been interesting if Tunisia had something to play for. Then I think Tunisian players would have been a good differential. But as they don't, they could go out with a bang as well. So they might play really well before they go home. So you could maybe consider Tunisian players. But it's a risk, of course. And then as far as Group H, still all to play for in that group. Really don't know how it stands because there's 2 teams that have won, 2 teams that have lost. Poland versus Colombia, I think, will decide a lot. If one of those teams wins, then we'll know a bit more about where we should or shouldn't be looking. Japan, Senegal, that will tell us who is through and who still has to perform in the final game. So I would wait and see with Group H. Hopefully that has answered your question. Matthew Berry, saw him late. Don't worry about it, mate. World Cup winner predictions. Right now I'm looking at maybe Portugal, Spain, Belgium. I'd say those are my favourite 3 off the top of my head. Thomas, I actually like quite a few games so far, to be fair. I think the Mexico-Germany game was interesting. Maybe not the best performance by Germany. I think a lot of the big teams aren't performing as well as people thought they would, but that doesn't mean it's a bad World Cup. Matthew, to be honest, curse of the World Cup winners, to be fair. World Cup winners don't generally do well the next World Cup. What happened to Danilo? I think he just got rested. I didn't hear anything, Itan AB. But Fagner was playing in friendlies as well, so there was always a risk of rotation there. I think that is why I did change to Miranda. Because I think I was just like, he's more nailed on. Thomas McCarthy, one player I should put in my teams from every position, defender, midfielder and striker. I mean, I've kind of gone over them with the underlying stats. You've got Trippier and Kimmich. probably my picks for defenders. As far as midfielders, probably Cheryshev for a cheap option. Coutinho would be my midfield pick. As far as expensive midfielder, Eriksen, although he's not appeared in a lot of stats, Eriksen has been doing decent as well. You've got up front, Hazard has looked very good. Ronaldo, Lukaku, I think you need one of Ronaldo, Lukaku. Both would be good. And those would ideally be the players I'd be looking at as far as which ones I would consider. I can't get rid of my slides now because I forgot which ones I pressed and which ones I hadn't. So let me just quickly go through them. They're literally all open. Show team. There you go. It should be on the screen now. The Christie 95. I know it may not be easy to see, but with my graphics, I'll have to work something out to have it bigger on the screen. Maybe in future I just have one screen where I completely get rid of my camera and it's just the side. But my team is Diego Costa, Romelu Lukaku, Christian Eriksen, Cheryshev, Isco, Leun, Coutinho, Varela, Trippier, Miranda, Uzou, Ochoa, Akanji, Dalsgaard and Cavani. Did you see that Kroos goal? Yes, I did. Just before I started the stream. That Kroos goal was sick. You right, Jeff? Assassin says Lukaku was injured. He did come off early, which surprised me. So if he is injured, then that's good for England. But also Batshuayi may be out of left field pick for the England game. Jeff, if you've actually got Zoa and Grandfist, and Jedinak, you've got some players there that most people wouldn't have looked at who have done well. Ronaldo and Costa, good strike force as well. Jedinak won't win 3 penalties. Have you seen the VAR system and how it's been working? Who knows how many penalties there'll be in a game? Colin Barker, Azoa, is a great enabler because he's cheap. And you never know. This Argentina side haven't looked great. Did I go crazy when Kane netted the winner? No. Because my children were around and they were both... No, the old one wasn't asleep. But the young one was asleep. And I didn't want to wake her up. So I did jump up out of my chair. And I did go... But I made no noise. So, yeah, I didn't go crazy. I wanted to go crazy, but I didn't. Elite Gamer, what do you like most about football? That's a good question. I'd really enjoy watching it. I enjoy watching it with people, and I enjoy it when I feel some real passion about it. Which is usually when I really care about the team, when it's England or when it's AFC Wimbledon or stuff like that. I do enjoy watching games that I don't really care who wins sometimes as well. I suppose it helps. I can forget everything else that's going on when I'm watching a football game. So it's an escape, I'd say, for me. It's one of the main things. Probably coming from loving it as a kid, going to games with my dad. So that's where the love from it came. Colin Barker, they have 4 games on Monday, mate. Yeah, I'm aware they have 4 games. They go through Group A and B, don't they, on Monday? I don't know what I said that made you think I didn't know that. But Group A will play first and then Group B second. Is it worth subbing in my Colombia defender tomorrow for a player that scored at 2 this week? I would say yes, just take the risk. As you can see, every single one of my people on my bench has got 3 points, 2 points, 2 points, 2 points. And they got subbed straight out. Alright there, you minge. I'm alright, Gordon. How you doing? Is Lewandowski an option? I think Lewandowski is always an option. I think he's a world-class striker. So yes, I'd say he is an option. Okay, Gordon, if you're talking Cockney, you lost me. Having a champage breaky tomorrow's got me in some heads doing one. In the Telegraph Golden Boot, we got 18 goals with 12 trans, 5k prize. I'm presuming that means you're doing well. I've not looked at the Telegraph games at all, to be fair. Exactly, Elite. I think what makes football such a great game is every now and again some random results come out of nowhere, which all the experts have completely said something else will happen, and then, like, I was sure Japan wouldn't do well. I was pretty confident Russia wouldn't do well, and Japan won their first game. Russia have killed it in their first two. Yeah, Jan Arthur Jacobson, one major strategy is to try and have players that play on different days. That is one major strategy, so you can move your captain's armband around. I'm not sure how good my team will be for round 3. In fact, I might even have a look at that right now. So, this is a bit of self-indulgence, so apologies. But on... Sorry, there we go. On Monday, we got Saudi Arabia, Egypt, Uruguay, Russia, Iran, Portugal, Spain, Morocco. So I've got Spanish Costa, Spanish Isco, Varea, Uruguay, Cheryshev, Russia. So that's 4 of my players playing on the same day. So I'll probably transfer out Isco and maybe get coverage on another day. So Tuesday, we've got Australia, Peru. Don't have any of those anymore, I think. Denmark, France, I've got Ericsson, no French players, so I could bring in a French player for Isco, give me some options. Iceland, Croatia have no one. Nigeria, Argentina have no one apart from Azoa. So I need probably, unless I'm going with Ericsson against France, a captain option for them. Group E and Group F, I've got Coutinho for Brazil. I've got, I think Akanji is Serbian, I think. Might not be, that might be wrong. Switzerland I don't have a player for, so could bring in a Switzerland midfielder for Isco. No German, South Korea, no Mexican, no Swede. Or I've got Leun, but he's not the best captaincy option. So I've got a decent captaincy option for Group C and D. Coutinho for Group E and F. And then I've got Lukaku for Group G, but it looks like he's injured, so it might be worth transferring him out. England, I've got Trippier. Then don't really have much cover for any of the Group H games. So to be honest, it looks like Group G and H are the one, if Lukaku isn't playing, I really need a captaincy option for. I had Boateng in my team. Ouch. That is painful, my friend. That is painful. Anyway, guys, I'm going to call it there just because there's not loads of questions. And, of course, the group stages aren't over. So a lot of this is speculation. But thank you guys so much for joining the stream. As always, it's always appreciated, your guys' support. Check out the links in the description if you want to support the channel in any way. Also, check out the videos, the highlights if you've missed anything. The most important bits I spoke about will be coming out in highlight videos. And also check out FPL Wildcats. We should be streaming soon in the week. Maybe, don't quote me on this, but we're looking at Wednesday. So definitely go and subscribe to that channel. Check that channel out. Put notifications on so we know when we're going live. The second live definitely went a lot better than the first as far as quality. And we'll just quickly go over Colin Barker and Jan Arthur Jacobson's questions. I have Ericsson, Isco and Coutinho. I can see Shaqiri coming in for Ericsson, but who for Isco? A good midfielder for Isco. Coutinho, if you don't have... And you said you got Coutinho, didn't you? Cruz. If Cruz can do something like he did in this game, could get something big. Kevin De Bruyne could be really important to Belgium if they are missing a lot of their players. Which of the big teams are playing to survive in round 3? We're looking at Argentina, definitely playing to survive. Germany playing to survive. I'd say Poland and Colombia could be playing to survive. And that is pretty much it. Yeah, like and share as well. Subscribe to this channel, all that good stuff. Barbecue for the England game. Shut up, Gordon. Shut up. That sounds epic. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I've been JNO. This has been FPL Today. And remember to check out the FPL Wildcat stream. Definitely check it out. Hopefully it goes even better than the last two.